What's up, everybody? It's your girl Chanté, back with another episode of Chatting with Chanté. How in the world are y'all doing? Me, I am doing fabulous. So I'm not even going to hit y'all with an excuse as to why I, haven't posted in a couple little minutes or whatever. But let me just tell y'all, I've been doing a lot of good reading, and this one author who we're going to be talking about today has had me in a chokehold this past week, okay? I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, once I got my Kindle, I have just been reading her books and her books only, which is crazy because I went from not reading thriller books at all to just being completely engulfed with this genre, okay? So, without further ado, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when I drop a video. Grab your snakes? How long has it been? We're not editing that out. How long has it been since I've done this? Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, prop your feet up, and let's get it. Let's go. So the author that I'm talking about today is Freida McFadden. Oh my gosh. If you follow me on TikTok, which you should be, then you know I have been in a Freida McFadden mode this past week. I've read 5 of her books and it's just great. Okay, it's been great. Now, I've only read 5. She has like 15-20 books, so I haven't even made a dent just yet, but I've read enough to know that I am really enjoying her writing. Like, I'm used to her writing style. I love the pace of her books and all that good stuff, and the fact that all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, which means I just get to enjoy them whenever, wherever, however, then it makes it so much better. So before we get into the actual books that I've read and I'm going to talk about them, I told y'all the last time y'all saw my Kindle, which was the first time y'all saw my Kindle, I said it's probably going to be looking different because shortly after that I had ordered some stickers and I redecorated. So here is my Kindle up close. I'm absolutely in love, okay? So I still have the same clear case. This sticker is from the first time y'all saw it. I got that from Etsy. The rest of the stickers all came from the same little package bundle on Amazon, and the pop socket came from Five Below. And yeah, I'm literally obsessed. Okay, again, I have the denim blue Kindle Paperwhite 11th generation. I think it's one of the newer models that came out, 16 gigabytes, and I'm in love with it. It's waterproof, so if you want to read on the beach, the pool, in the tub, no worries there. And I love the screen of it because it doesn't have that glare like you would get if you were reading on like an iPad or your phone, laptop, which I love because that reduces, the straining on the eyes and the headaches and stuff like that. So I don't mind just being glued to this because it doesn't feel like I'm just staring at a piece of a electronic screen, if that makes sense. So so the real reason why we're here again is to talk about Freida McFadden. So I read 5 of her books. I don't know if I'm going to rank them just yet because for me they're all 5 stars. So I like them all. I suck at ranking books, okay? Rating and ranking, like, I either loved it or I didn't. Like, there's very rarely an in-between, like, oh, it was decent. I either really liked it or I really didn't. There's really no gray area. So let's go with the first book that I read, okay? So the first book that I read by Freida was Never Lie. And child, so this book threw me for a loop because the one thing about Freida books is she writes those books that will make you feel like you know exactly what's going on, you know exactly who the suspect is, and you know everything, and you're just waiting for it to be revealed. And then once it gets revealed who actually did what and how they did it and what for, it's like, now, what was I reading? Did I read, like, she will have you looking crazy, okay? So basically, Never Lie is about a newlywed couple, Ethan and Trisha. They are looking to buy their first home together. They stumble upon a home and it's real secluded, like in the middle of nowhere. And the day they go see the house is the day a big snowstorm hits. They're trapped in the house for at least 2-3 days. And they find out once they get in there and start looking around that the house used to belong to a well-renowned psychiatrist who went missing and disappeared 3 years prior, and nobody knows exactly what happened to her, right? If you see me looking down, I'm trying to pull up the next book so I can show y'all when I get to it. But so yeah, so no one knows what happened to the psychiatrist, and so while they're there, they're just trying to make do with what they have for the time being. And the wife, Trisha, she stumbles upon a room full of all these cassette tapes because Dr. Hale, the psychiatrist, she would record her sessions with her patients and then refer back to the tapes for any note taking and stuff like that. So while the wife is listening to them, things start coming together leading up to her disappearance. And Baby, when I tell you, listen, if you read Never Lie, then you already know what chapter had me like I literally gasped. That's how you know a book is good, at least for me, if it makes you make audible noises, like talking to the book, grunting, gasping, like having to put the book down, like all that type of stuff. If you are feeling all these different emotions, that's how you know the book has you in a chokehold, because girl. So when it's all revealed, because again, that book, Never Lie, you know for sure who the person is, okay? And the thing I really like about Freida's books is it's not just gonna stay in one time frame, if that makes sense. You're gonna get multiple points of view. It's gonna be dual timelines and stuff like that. So with this book, we're in the present day with Trisha and Ethan checking out the house and her listening to the tapes. We also get to read the chapters that are those actual tapes and seeing what was held in those conversations during the sessions. And you know, the other points of view is Dr. Hale, leading up to her disappearance. And that book right there had me stuck like Chuck. Like that specific chapter when you when everything is about to get revealed, it's like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Because Freida will have you looking at one person or one group of people or whatever a certain way, and then you're so fixated on what's going on with them that you are ignoring everything else that's the real tea. Child, she will have you feeling crazy, okay? So that's Never Lie. So the second book I read, which if you thought Never Lie was a whirlwind, then this one right here, baby. So I read The Inmate, okay? So I read The Inmate, and let me tell you something right here. The Inmate had me chuckling, because I was so far off from guessing what was going on, right? So, hold on, y'all. I be trying to do 500 things at one time. So, here it is. Okay, there we go. So, I knew I had it. I knew I had it figured out, but I didn't, okay? In this book, you truly won't know what's going on until the very end of the book. So The Inmate, we have a young woman named Brooke. She's about 27, 28 years old, and she just recently moved back into her hometown. About 10 and a half, 11 years ago, she moved away because something traumatic happened to her, and she just recently got a job as a nurse practitioner at a men's high maximum security prison. And she's okay with it, but she knows one of the inmates that's in there because it was her high school sweetheart, Shane Nelson, and she's the reason that he's serving a life sentence at that very prison, because he tried to kill her and he killed other people this one specific night, right? So while she's there, she's just hoping that she doesn't have to run into him. Of course, in order for the book to go along, she runs into him, or because she's a nurse practitioner, a couple of inmates got into a fight. He was one of them, and she's treating him, and every time they have an encounter, he's trying to, tell her, what you think I did, I'm not the one who did it. I did not do that to you. So while she's not at work, she also runs into her childhood best friend, Tim, whom she hasn't seen in these past 10, 11 years since she's moved away and came back. And so they start reconnecting and catching up. And basically we have these two guys both in her ear like, no, it wasn't me who did this, it was Shane. And then Shane is like, no, it wasn't me who did this, it was Tim. So we're like, okay, who do we believe? I mean, one is in prison, okay, for doing this, so obviously it's him. But then we start reading, because again, with the multiple timelines and stuff like that, we have the present day, and then it also flashes back to 11 years ago on that specific night where, everything happened. So between reading the flashbacks and seeing how everybody is, present day, it's like, okay, I thought it was this person, but now it's looking like it's this person. And then at one point you're like, okay, it was both of them, so they both need to be locked up. And then at one point you're like, okay, ma'am, did you make this up? Like, you don't know who to believe, okay? You have no idea who to believe until when I say the very end, I mean the very freaking end, okay? And anybody who guessed the plot twist, kudos to you, because girl, the plot twist, and then the plot twist on top of that, and then the plot twist on top of that, girl. And that's another thing about Freida books. You ain't just gonna get one big plot twist and that's it. Like, you gonna get one, but then something else gonna happen that's like, now wait a minute, where that come from, Freida? Where that come from, girl? And child, it's great, okay? I love it. So the next two books that I read were The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret. Listen, now these are the books, especially The Housemaid, that really took Book Talk and BookTube and all the other social media platforms by storm. This was the one that made me get wind of who Freida McFadden was. That was my first time hearing her name when everybody was discussing The Housemaid, right? And crazy enough, because everybody was talking about it, I have The Housemaid in the physical book form. That was the very first Freida book that I read. And the ironic part is it's the third book that I read by her, and I read it on my Kindle. Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. But in my defense, if there's a series and the books are already out, I like to have the whole collection of books, okay? So I think it was because I couldn't find the physical book of The Housemaid's Secret, the second book, anywhere, and I didn't want to read that book in case it ended on a cliffhanger. I don't know. Anyway, so basically The Housemaid is about a young woman named Millie, okay? She just got through serving a 10-year prison sentence for something, you know, that happened 10 years ago. And she is looking for a job, okay? It's hard for her to get a job and keep a job. There's different incidents that happen and stuff like that. She's living in her car and she just wants to get, you know, some stability, right? So she sees a job for a live-in housemaid position for this very wealthy family, okay? And she gets interviewed by the wife, Nina. So it's a husband, wife, and their daughter, their 8-year-old daughter, okay? And so again, very wealthy, very, you know, pristine and elite and stuff like that. So, you know, she's getting to know the wife, Nina. She's super sweet. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, you know, real friendly, right? And so Nina's giving her a tour of the house, and she tells her, you know, you will be staying in the attic. Talking to Millie, you will be staying in the attic. Mind you, there's a whole perfectly beautiful guest bedroom on the same level as the rest of the family. But, you know, I guess that's where they family comes, stay in or whatever. Okay. And Millie is like, even though this is kind of weird, you know, staying in the attic where there's only one little small bed, a little broom closet, a window that's painted shut, and the lock is on the outside of the door. So if she gets locked in there, yeah, okay. So, but she's like, you know what, this is better than sleeping in my car, and they're paying me very well. I'm in no position to complain, right? So as time is going on, you know, in the beginning, everything is seeming normal, everything is cool. Nina, the wife, the mother, she's real nice, until one day it starts hitting the fan, okay? And it's like this roller coaster with everybody, okay? So Nina, one day, she just starts making these messes and just making Millie's job a living HE double hockey sticks and accusing her of stuff and just tormenting her. And it's like, girl, what is going on with you? And then it's like 1 minute she's flipping out on Millie, and then the second minute she's hugging her and like, hey girl, how you doing? And it's like, okay, the 8-year-old daughter, Cecilia, aka Cece, 2 words, spoiled brat. All right, it's like, okay, girl, she's giving little creepy Chucky doll vibes, okay, Annabelle vibes, no shade. And then the husband, Andrew, he isn't really, you know, involved in the whole who they hire in the house process. He just leaves that to the wife while he goes and makes the money. Cool deal. So he's cool, you know, in the beginning and whatnot, and ciao. And then to make matters worse, Millie keeps hearing all these things about Nina, like, oh, she's crazy, she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. And it's like, oh, girl. And then you get that eerie feeling because Millie is living, you know, under the same roof as these people. So it's like, oh, Millie, girl, get out while you can, child. And so the thing that I really love about this book right here is you're left with an impression of each character, but more specifically one character. Okay, because the book is broken up into like 3 parts, right? So the first part is like, you know, introductory, you know, seeing how we got here basically. And then the second part, because again, once you leave the first part, you already know who you like, who you don't like, what the issue is. You already know what's going on. Baby, you get to that second part and every feeling that you had towards every character, take it out. Just take it out. Just take it out and start fresh, because you get into the next part and it's like, ooh, like you just have all these emotions. It's that second part that just makes you like, okay, everything that I just read and all the emotions that came with that, let me put that to the side and start fresh. Let me not carry these same emotions from the first part to the next parts, because girl, like Freida ate that up. And then once everything is, you know, 2 and 2 put together, it's like, oh, okay, now we got to get it resolved, okay, child. So when you get to the final part, it's like, I know I just made a whole bunch of sounds, but I promise you, if you read the book, then you'll understand. If you've read the book, then you understand, right? So then the second book, it's not, so it wouldn't really be well, I mean, you can talk about the second book because it's like, well, I'm trying not to spoil spoil it because this ain't like an in-depth review of each book. It's just like a little overview, so you'll know if you want to read them or not. There is a second book, but I wouldn't, even though it's a sequel, I wouldn't necessarily call it a sequel because you don't really have to read the first book in order to understand what's going on in the second book, because it's like two completely different, you know, situations. But there are some little Easter egg type references, and if you haven't read the first book, then you'll just read it and not think twice about it. Whereas somebody who has read the first book, you know, they'll catch on and be like, ah, yeah, you know. So stuff like that. Do you have to read this first book in order to completely understand the second one? No. Would I recommend you read the first one and the second one? Yes, but it's up to you. So yeah, whatever. So the second one, The Housemaid's Secret, without saying too much, is just, you know, following Millie, you know, along her journey. I'm trying not to spoil it, so I'm gonna leave that to y'all's discretion, okay? But just know, excuse me, just know The Housemaid's Secret, baby. Oh baby, they ate that up. Freida ate that up, okay? So then the last book that I read by her, okay, hold on, let me find it so I can show y'all. Now this book right here, I'm not gonna lie to you, it still had me in a chokehold, okay? It had me at the edge of my seat. I did not want to put it down until everything was revealed. But this book, this reading experience was a little bit different for me, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I read The Perfect Son, okay? So I read The Perfect Son. For me, the four main Freida McFadden books that I saw people talk about was The Housemaid, The Housemaid's Secret, Never Lie, and The Inmate. And then all her other books were kind of like a toss-up, you know, of who liked them, who didn't like them, and where they fell in their ranking. So I didn't really know which book I wanted to start on next. So I just, you know, was like, you know what, I want to read The Perfect Son. Let's get into it. And so The Perfect Son is about this woman named Erica, okay? She has like the typical perfect suburban lifestyle, okay? She has her husband of 20-something years. She has her teenage son who's perfect. She has her teenage daughter who is acting like a regular teenager, complaining about everything. And so a seemingly normal life, okay? But then we find out that her son, Liam, who is 16 years old, he has, you know, had some difficulties, you know, in his upbringing, okay? He has turned quite a few people off, okay? First, he's charming and everyone's drawn to him, but then he says things and he does things that, you know, make the alarms go off in everybody's heads. Like, okay, something's a little bit off with him. Yeah, he's cute, but something is off about him. You know, the people at school are like, okay, he's crazy, you know. So he starts dating this girl, you know, has an interest in this girl, and everybody's telling her, girl, stay away from him, okay? I know he cute, but stay away from him, okay? And so it's just a whole journey of Erica trying to save Liam from himself, because throughout the entire book, she keeps saying, you know, I know what he's capable of doing. And so whenever he tries to get close to a girl or whatever, she kind of puts a stop to it before it gets too far to protect, you know, the other person and to protect Liam. And it's like, girl, if you know he crazy, why you ain't okay, child? And then a girl disappears from his school, and he was, you know, possibly the last one to see her, and it's like this whole big blow up. And child, I'm just going ahead and tell y'all now, the reason why this book was a different experience for me is because for the first time, I actually figured out who the person was before it was revealed. And it was still an amazing, I still give it 5 stars for me personally if I had to rate it. But it was different because my theory, you know, what I thought was going to happen, or, you know, who I thought the person was, it was actually them. So it kind of took away from the shock, like, oh my gosh, it's them. It kind of took away from that a little bit. But once everything was, but there was still more to be, you know, talked about. But yeah, that was like the big thing. And I was like, I just got a feeling about this specific character. And when it was revealed that it was that person, I was like, I knew it. Like, I knew it. I think I was more shocked at the fact that I was right, because trust me, with reading Freida McFadden books, I'll be trying to guess it and have my theories. Baby, my theories were wrong, okay? She played me like a fool. So while I was reading this, I was kind of picking up on a few things, not purposefully, not trying to solve it, but I was picking up on a few things, and I was like, I don't know, this character, like I know we're supposed to focus on these people over here, but something about this character right here, I don't know. And then once it was revealed, I was like, I knew it. But the shocking thing was their reasoning behind everything. That was, that added more back the shock value and stuff like that. So yeah, but it was still a really great book, but it was one that I kind of guessed, and I was correct in my guessing, but still an amazing book. I really, really enjoyed it. So like I said, Freida has a whole bunch of books. I'm not really sure where I want to go next. I think I want to take a break on Freida, okay? Just so I won't burn through all her books, because her books are very fast paced. Like, you can read her books in one sitting. None of these books have taken me more than 2 days to read, okay? I'm just saying that right now. So I don't want to burn through all her books. And plus, I want to get back into reading my romance books and other things like that. So we gonna put Freida down just for a second. And I said that, but then I started reading The Perfect Son. So we gonna see, okay? But there is another book that I am starting to read, okay? And I can tell I'm gonna like it, all right? So this book right here, hold on, child. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm reading this book right here. Okay, girl, how many title pages? Okay. So I'm reading this book right here, One Weekend in Paradise by Anise Starr. And I'm excited for it, okay? So it's about this 27-year-old influencer, and she right now is in like an awkward place, okay? She once was on top of the world and everybody loved her and knew her. Then something happened and she's losing followers. She's not really working with brands anymore. She's just, did a whole 180, 360, whatever you want to call it, okay? And so she gets the opportunity to go on a free couples trip to Jamaica. But the thing is, she ain't got no man. So her brother jokingly says, oh, my best friend should go with you. And so the best friend is like, okay, I'll go with her. So we have 1 week in Jamaica, okay, fake dating my brother's best friend, close proximity. I'm pretty sure it's a 1-bed trope in there. I'm here for it. Just a little island getaway with this fine little man. Big period. I'm here for it. Okay, so yeah, and plus, just from I'm only on page 3, okay? But from the first couple of things, she's 27, I'm 27. She's in social media, I'm in social media, and she just feels like, man, because she's kind of comparing her life, to other people and where she once was. It's like, girl, that's relatable. Wait a minute. So, yeah, we're going to get a little bit of relatability, maybe, depending, because we didn't get too far into it. But yeah, as far as that, I feel you, sis. So if you've read this book, then let me know if you enjoyed it. If you've read any other Freida McFadden books, let me know how you enjoyed them. If you want to check out some Freida books, then go ahead, because listen, I went from not reading thrillers to just reading 5 Freida books in 5 days. What's going on? Okay, so I am going to get off of here so I can keep reading this book right here and see what Miss Bailey got going on. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Oh, before I go, my podcast, Chatting with Chanté, season 4, baby, July 31st. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay, so I'm gonna put the links to, listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And if you've never heard the show before, it's okay. It's okay. But you have time to catch up, okay? And if you have been supporting me and my podcast, then baby, we are back. Season 4, July 31st. Is y'all ready? Because I'm ready, okay? But yeah, that's it, y'all. I'm going to head on out of here. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I'm going to catch y'all later. Love y'all. Bye.